Thanks for coming out. This has been a very long time in coming, and we're really excited to be here in our next phase of the Bourbon District. I'm Rebecca Matheny. I'm with the Louisville Downtown Partnership, and I would like to thank you all for coming and say a few things about what a great time we're having right now in downtown Louisville. In addition to all the construction, we have this fantastic homegrown bourbon district that has developed. A lot of great attractions. We're joined by some of our friends from our downtown attractions at Evan Williams, and Michter's coming along. Old Forester will be open soon. We've got Jim Beam at 4th Street Live. So we'll eventually have 9 attractions, including the Fraser, and they're being the head of the Bourbon Trail. Wanted to thank everybody that's been a partner with us in this project, our great friends at the Louisville Convention and Visitors Bureau who have helped with their advice, but also financially in making this whole Bourbon District happen. The Mayor's Office and Metro Government has been a huge support, and the Kentucky Distillers Association. Would be remiss in not mentioning our great partners at Solid Light. Cynthia Torp, who's the president and CEO of this great downtown-based company. We'll be saying a few words. And the Louisville Water Company that's helping us. You know, we have here something that no one else really has. You can't walk Napa. Here in Louisville, we're going to have a pedestrian-oriented, great tourism attraction with lots of great opportunities for different experiences of the bourbon industry and our great historical heritage here in Louisville. We also were working with the KDA, LCVB, and the Mayor's Office on a responsibility campaign. We've had great leadership from Brown Foreman on that to really make sure that we're all enjoying this, but in a responsible manner. I would like to introduce now Cynthia Torp of Solid Light, who's going to come up and say a few words about our great new attraction, The Barrel.
Thank you, Rebecca. Well, our team is thrilled and proud and honored to produce work in our own hometown and be part of the revitalization and telling of one of the stories of our biggest industries in our past and now in our present and future. Many different transportation routes culminated here on Main Street in the past. The streets, railroads, and they all converged on the river. And so in bourbon's heyday, in the Wayback Machine, the barrel was the main way that we transported bourbon. And so what we have created here is a great big abstracted barrel, almost like you cut the rings cross-cut out of a barrel. And so we're honoring that form, that invention that hasn't changed in all these years, but mostly it's about our history and heritage. Lots of people came by over the last week and said, "What are you building, a Stargate?" And so really it's the Stargate to our bourbon heritage and the centerpiece of Bourbon District. It was a real challenge, but also a rewarding challenge to create and engineer this piece, and it took a lot of great artists and brains to get it done. And I have to give a big shout out to Alex Stotts of our team, wherever you are, Alex, wave, and Mike Marnell, who led the artistic team to get it done. And if Bob Roof is here, he was a part of this project as well. So if he's here, big shout out to him. And so thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this. Thank you.
Again, thanks Cynthia and your team, and I want to thank my team too. The Downtown Partnership staff is a great group of people to work with, and they've really, really worked tirelessly on this. Next, I'd like to introduce, we are so lucky in downtown Louisville to have Barbara Sexton-Smith as our Metro Council representative. She is with District 4. She'll be doing that up here in a minute, and I'd like to introduce her.
All right. Well, welcome to District 4, where everyone gets connected all day long. Let me see it for the photo ops. Give me a high 4. Put them up there. There we go. All right, it is so exciting to be standing here getting ready to unveil this most amazing piece of engineering and artwork behind us. And as I think about Louisville, Kentucky, my hometown, many of your hometown, I think about the bees. I think about bourbon, baseball, ballet, and basketball. We can't forget, how about those lady cards tonight? All right, now let's talk just a minute about the economic impact of bourbon. I'm going to give credit, yes, to Mayor Greg Fisher for inventing, he's going to flip when I say this, inventing the entire industry and the marketing and messaging around bourbonism. Give it up for Mayor Greg Fisher. You know, he had the vision and the foresight to recognize what bourbon could do, not just for Louisville, Kentucky, but for the whole entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. And if you think about it for a moment, across the state, we have somewhere between 15,000 to 17,500 jobs in the bourbon industry. And those jobs bring in about an $800 million payroll every year in our Commonwealth. And then if you start thinking about the 536 manufacturing businesses in this industry, bourbon industry pays the largest, 34.6 cents on every dollar of their economic output. Speaking of economic output, how about another B? I love billions. $8.5 billion in economic output every year across the fine Commonwealth of Kentucky. Let's hear it for bourbonism. And then on the more fun side of it, what's in it for bourbon for everyone? And yes, there is something in bourbon for everyone. Yes, I'm talking about families who can come and learn about science, technology, engineering, art, and math through bourbon. There's a little bit of that for everyone. What I'm going to ask everyone to do is I shall challenge you as you visit our fine city, and if you're taking a home tour because you live here, come downtown and find your 10 favorite places to take your picture. Why not have a contest? We'll have photo champions. And the first one will start right here in what I like to call the Circle of Life. Does that sound familiar? So, Mayor, if I had a choir out here, we'd be singing, "Will the circle be unbroken?" And we got a barrel behind us to prove it. So welcome to District 4 and welcome to bourbonism in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you.
My next introduction is the man who has to follow Barbara Sexton Smith often in speaking engagements and who is standing next to Kevin Smith, who is, I'm happy to say, the LDP board chair and also here representing Boom Suntory and the Kentucky Distillers Association. So thank you, Kevin, for all your support. Now, it is my distinct honor to introduce Mayor Greg Fisher, who is a tireless champion of downtown Louisville, did invent bourbonism as a concept, and for that we could thank him. We should re-elect him just for that, I think. But up next, Mayor Greg Fisher.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Thank you, Councilwoman Smith. Thank you for hosting us here in District 4. Yes. Well, I'm getting a lot of credit here. You know, the bourbon industry was around a lot longer than me. But it is amazing if we had done this 10 years ago and put this up here, people would have thought we were crazy. They wouldn't even have really understood what we were trying to do. But what we said was, you know, look, we've got 95% of the world's bourbon production is here in Kentucky. We got this tremendous local food scene. So that's authentically ours. So, you know, any great company or any great city is going to really brag on what they have that they can only showcase to the world. That's how bourbonism was created. And it was already here. We just really weren't promoting it as strongly as what we could have. So it's just been a really beautiful thing to see how this has all come through. It gives the city a little extra pep in our step, really helps us to punch above our weight with hospitality. We see that right now. We have 25 hotels announced or under construction in our city right now, and just some amazing new properties that are being opened. When the convention center opens here in August, many of the conventions that are coming here have a bourbon component to them now, where they're being attracted. Hey, what's different about your city? All cities are competing with each other to bring more conventions and meetings in place. Bourbonism is a big part of that. And then, of course, Councilwoman Sexton Smith talked about the economic impact of bourbonism. But at the end of the day, too, let's not get too serious here. It's just fun, okay? In this wonderful piece of art here, today is going to be another one of those areas where people come, take a picture, and just have a little fun in our city, and then come back to that. Cynthia, to you and your team, Solid Light looks fantastic. You know, really, we had high expectations, and you guys have exceeded them here. So great job. This is going to be a signature spot in our city. Great job to the Solid Light team being very low-key in the back there. Please wave to us. Thank you, guys. Wonderful job here for our city. So we just got a lot of wonderful things going on in Bourbonism. If you haven't been to Hell or High Water, that speakeasy, the official opening is on Saturday. As a speakeasy, it's perfectly located. It's between two construction fences on Washington Street. You see a light behind the door. Be sure to check that out. We're having a bunch of new speakeasies opening up in our city right now that are really kind of cool and interesting places. What the Fraser is going to be doing with being the official starting point for the Bourbon Trail, Penny, is incredible. Very exciting. And then Michter's is opening this year. The love that they've put into the Fort Nelson building, beautiful, beautiful. Nice job. No telling what Old Forester has in mind for us here. They'll be opening in June on Whiskey Row. So, and then we got Rabbit Hole opening in time for the Derby. So we really kind of have an embarrassment of riches right now when it comes to Bourbonism. And what I love about it is that each one of these experiences are a 5-star experience. They take people into them, and people didn't know you could tell the story of bourbon in so many different ways. But as long as we adhere to those 5-star, high-quality experiences, both with our buildings, but when people arrive in the city, whether they're driving in, flying in, the experience they have here is a 5-star hospitality city, and when they leave, that will bring more and more people back, which, of course, is more opportunity for us here in the city. So I want to thank everybody, KDA, the entire bourbon industry, and all of our hospitality industry for making this such a great ride for our city. Congratulations to everybody.